true. I am a Grenadian. Yes, man. Grenada, the land where I was born. I know you were suffering. Men have raped you and abused you and left you there crying. I devote my heart, my body and my soul. I stretch forth my helping hand to help you out. I haven't got diamond, silver, nor even gold, but blessings I give to its west, north, and south. Oh, Grenada, Grenada, here I come, sweet, sweet Grenada. I will never, ever, ever let you down. Oh no.
A pleasant good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen, and how are we doing this afternoon? I hope that we're fine right now. God's blessings to each and every one of you. We are here for another wonderful evening of class in session. I thought just went there for a while, you know, but it's something that I noticed. If you've seen me a bit transparent, that is due to the jersey that I'm wearing and my background. All right, but my voice.
Since you are falling back to the last rung of the ladder, and your neighbors stand up there and uttering.
It is the 10th day of January 2024.
They just do.
Time approximately 4 minutes past the 6.
Your friends have turned their backs on you.
Welcome to another class in session, hosted by yours truly, Royalty James. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. To the persons over on my YouTube page, good afternoon. I see you guys are just trickling in. Miss Marilyn Ferguson, as per usual, you were there. Kathleen Lendo and Patsy Frank, good afternoon to you guys. Glenda Robinson, I'm seeing you there very early. Let's go ahead and share it live right now. Let them know that we're on for another wonderful, wonderful evening, right? You're listening to the voice of Randy Isaac, right? As we get ready to celebrate our 50th year of independence, representing the eyes, green and gold. As one individual said, the cartoon colors now. Let us dress as clowns. It's 50th anniversary. I love dressing like a clown, man.
It's time that you take a stand to defend your position from all those smart reaper scams who just come to take a bite and make their own decision.
We want to be interactive this afternoon. Either you can be interactive in the comment section, or you can call in today. It's going to be that interactive this evening. I want to hear from you guys today. However, I'll start the conversation. I know many of you are all free to call, right? So don't worry, comment. Put it on YouTube and on Facebook. Comment something to me. Jill Williams, good evening to you, ma'am. To the persons out there in the diaspora, I love you guys so much. Always taking the opportunity during your busy schedule to still listen to the class in session program. Persons here at home, I love you guys also, man.
I'll always be a support right here by your side, with my arms around you to wipe your weeping eye.
Be proud to be from Grenada, right? 473 to the world. Be proud to be Grenadian anywhere you go. Throughout the length and breadth of this world, I am a proud Grenadian, man. The voices of yours truly, sorry, Randy Isaac.
If you feel living like me, feel free to say.
Giving memories to some of you guys over there right now.
Oh yeah. Grenada. Oh, I love you, Grenada. I'll always be right by your side, Grenada. Oh, why, Grenada, 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 Grenada.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so very much for coming in. I still think I need some more persons here. I think I need more persons here this afternoon. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I would want to say to you guys, welcome to the persons out there in Carriacou and Petite Martinique, persons listening in the region, and persons listening out there in the diaspora. A pleasant good afternoon to you guys. God's blessings to each and every one of you wherever you're at. Welcome. I realize that Miss Ferguson is on both ends today. She is firing from all cylinders. She is both on YouTube and on Facebook, and I'm loving it. Go ahead, share the live, tag somebody, let them know this is Interactive Wednesday in the class in session, right? But however, I'll start the conversation, ladies and gentlemen. And most of you all would have heard on Talking Point last night the deliberation or issues raised by the 22-year-old Prime Minister, 23-year-old Prime Minister that served this nation diligently in none other than in Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Claudius Mitchell. He would have addressed some issues last night, pressing issues of the state, and so I am happy that some of you all who got the opportunity to would have listened to it did enjoy the deliberations made and you take into consideration, all right, what was said. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give you a number right now. And right now, I want the persons, I'm gonna give persons some work to do right now for those of us who are in Grenada, right? Or maybe in possession thereof. But listen to this number. 681299. Is there anybody in the classroom that is intelligent enough to just listen this number and just tell me what number they believe that is? 681299. Anybody who's most intelligent enough, just say to me what number, where you feel that number comes from. Where you feel that this number, I resurrected this number. Why am I calling this number? Anybody in the classroom? I mean, come on, don't disappoint me to the students. Yes, 681299. Can anybody tell me what that number is? Anybody know what that number is? Where do I get this number from? Where am I just spontaneously calling this number from? Well, let me tell you guys, ladies and gentlemen, this is the number. This is my voters registration number. My voters registration number 681299. Get your number close by. If you don't have a number, go get your number. If you have to renew, somebody say a jail number. If you have to renew any form of, how should I put it, information that is needed now in getting your voter's ID ready, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and get it. Let me say, if you lost your voter's ID, if it is expired, then you would have to go to your electoral office. You would have to obtain a form. In that form, and that is if it is expired. If it is expired, then you would have to go by a JP. They would have to sign it. You'd have to pay $20 in the treasury in order to get it. It's a 14-day period to get it. If you would have lost it and it is not expired, all you have to do, follow the same form, sign it by a JP, you carry it back to the office. All right? Yes, that is my voter's ID number, Ms. Ferguson. I gave it out today. And just letting persons know let's not drag our foot. Let's not drag our foot. Go get registered. We on the ball for registration very early. And no more of us say, like till 3 years ago. 3 years is what we know as an election year is away. But however, ladies and gentlemen, there is much more. For persons who are who's going to register for the first time, what you would need to have is your board paper, and you're going to the constituency office or the electoral office, not the constituency office. And people, let's get, for persons who like me sometimes does mix it up. All right, somebody's saying 620035, lock and load until the 30th of the 4th, 2030. You see, you hear thing? So you have persons that are geared and ready, and persons, as I was saying, constituency office, there's a difference. You don't go to your constituency office for anything concerning your ID card. You go to your electoral office, right? I know most of us normally make that mistake and find out, where is the constituency office when it comes to voters ID. No, it is called the electoral office. So anytime you're asking or finding out, that is where you would need to go. All right, get your number, know your polling station. I'm telling, listen to me. Many of you guys are going to come back to me and say, Prince, I remember when you said that on your program on the 10th of January 2024. I am saying to you guys, get it right. Somebody say it would happen before the carnival. Whenever it happens, just ensure that you are ready, that you are registered and ready, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So let's get down to the core of the conversation today. Somebody's out again. Somebody saying 627780. I am ready. You see, when you and don't fret to give your number. Let me tell you something. There is nothing you can basically do with one's voters ID registration number, right? I mean, at the end of the day, from the time you press that number and you hit enter, you know it's the person's name that is going to come up is going to be X, Y, or Z. It's not going to be you. All right. Somebody saying PD7 St. George's Northeast, St. Mary's Primary. What? Wow. Some persons are on the ball, man. I am GO2 National Stadium. I'm coming in from the Humbag Bridge area. Take a left, and then I am entering the first door, and I'm entering that area there on general voting day. If not, I'm on the special voters list. I am voting over on H.A. Blaze Street, right? So we know we stuff. Get registered, people. Get registered. It is no joking matter. Normally, this is one of the issues that we would have. Another number 61304, ready to stain right index finger. Then we're not going to stick with them this year, man. We are going to get it done. The new National Party is in the process of building, and ladies and gentlemen, don't take it lightly. Don't take this lightly. Everybody said, oh, it's three years away. But don't take this lightly. Get involved in the meetings. Listen to conversations. When you're hearing addresses by the opposition leader, listen to it. There information that we're giving to you guys that are important. Extremely important information. You can even contact us on WhatsApp if you so wish. You can add this number 405-8683. 405-8683. Get that information to you. You understand me? We can do that. Just add that number. Any question that you have, any inquiry, you would get onto the head office. The head office is going to direct you in whatever way possible. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, let me also remind you guys, the political organization, the New National Party, is not in office. And so there is a lot of issues that persons do or would like to be addressed. Many issues that sit directly in the government. Yeah, there are persons that are within constituency, parliamentary representative, but their hands are tied. They may attempt to sow some form of resource for you, might be able to speak to somebody, but things that are normal, like when persons asking for housing material and jobs within specific ministries and so on, it would be difficult, very, very difficult for parliamentary representatives of the New National Party to do so. They are not in government. I am not saying that one or two may not be able to have a conversation with maybe an individual that they may know within a particular area and may be able to, get some form of resources for you. But it is not one where you place your hands on it, that it is going to happen or they can do it. All right, I want us to be conscientious of that. 602-931. I am ready. Tell all you are ready. We ready. We real ready. We are going to stay ready, right? I know many persons are going to, in the upcoming weeks and so on, you're going to hear more information. Lots of information are going to arise in the upcoming weeks and months ahead when it comes to the development and the different strategic changes that are going to happen within the new National Party. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to start today's conversation as it relates to the RGPF and the government by extension when it comes to the many gun-related violence that we're hearing. I am not saying offense, or should I say gun-related incidents, I should say, and not violence. Gun-related incidents, right? We had over the weekend where even GBN could have provided us with that information where they went to the ghetto and shells were found and so on and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not an issue that we need to drag our foot on. This is a very old issue when it comes to what is happening, right? I mean, in recent years, and when I say recent years, 2-3 years back, we didn't have this, we weren't having this conversation. We're not saying that the offense was not prevalent, but the manner in which that we're hearing it now is seriously a call for concern. And I think that the RGPF and the Ministry of National Security, or the Minister of National Security, is taking this incident or this incidents as one that is going to just blow over for itself. I had to see today one of the clips where, it was a late evening or a night that it was filmed, and there was an altercation, and you see an individual, firing shots, and you're hearing persons screaming and so on. You can't say to me that this is not alarming in a place like Grenada, especially in the time where we're experiencing our tourist season. I can't understand why we just continue not making significant strive in ensuring that we deal with that situation. Because I could recall last year when it was mentioned, when there was a press conference held as it relates to that, right? And mediocritively, you heard it said, oh, it's going to be dealt with. But I don't see any strategic change that have been brought forward. No initiative, no brand new initiative that have been brought forward by this administration to help curb such an issue. And we're hearing and seeing it more and more and more. And what is alarming, ladies and gentlemen, as I continue to say, most of these persons, I am certain, are not trained in the use of firearm. And so what you may find happening is what is considered to be stray bullets. That it was not intended for you, but it got you. And somebody's asking if there is a minister. Somebody's asking if there is a Minister of National Security. Yes, Ms. Theodore, the Minister of National Security is the Prime Minister of Grenada. And I don't think that has changed. So we're not hearing this conversation. We're hearing of spot checks. And yesterday I even gave the cons, right, of spot checks and persons going on social media and saying, oh, there's a spot check in Library, there's a spot check in by the stadium, there's a spot check, in Paradise. There are cons to this, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying this is not one of the strategic ways that the police is trying to curb the issue, but spot checks is very far from curbing such an issue, right? This is not to say driver's license, that when an individual does not hold his driver's license, you could type in something and say, well, okay, he does not have it. This is a firearm. Most of the times persons would carry this on their person. So I am not saying that it is not wrong for the police to see you walking the streets or go in areas and carry out these personal searches. And as I said, I don't believe to myself that the RGPF, and by extension the Ministry of National Security or the Minister of National Security, are seeing the importance of addressing such an issue. Right? I don't think that they are paying particular attention to such an issue, and there are many incidents, not just in the central part of Grenada, meaning St. George's. You're hearing about it in St. Andrews. You're hearing about it in St. Patrick's. Nearly every, and for the last year or so, I want to believe, and I'm subjected to correction, that only maybe Petit Martinique, and St. Mark's as an area did not have gun-related incidents. And maybe I don't know of, or I don't know of it. As I said, I'm speaking out of ignorance as it relates to knowing it. But every parish, and go check it out yourself. Go check it out yourself. St. Andrews, St. Patrick's, St. John's had an incident. St. George's had incidents. So it is a pandemic at this stage when it comes to the country. And I can't believe that this organization, the RGPF, along with this administration, is not seeing the importance of this. Is not seeing it, because what drove me to be speaking about this today, I saw the incident. It was on television, on social media, and you heard persons basically screaming, I'm sorry that I'm not in a position to show it. Right? I'm not in a position to show it, but if you permit me, I can play it. And you could hear persons, the screams of persons asking questions. Is it a gun? Is it a gun you have in your hand? And you're hearing the gunshots ringing off. Let me see if I lay my fingers on it so you would hear it. You get an appreciation in terms of hearing it.
The man's the master for
I do apologize for the profanities. I do apologize for this. But I just want you to have an appreciation as it relates to what really happened.
I have a nice video for you. Oh my god, I'm not getting this shit, right? Just leave that con, they will find a way. I'm getting everything.
You're hearing the gunshots actually where the incident is happening. So the narrator was really, and I really don't want to play that long because the narrator is a bit, obscene, and I really don't want to, bring that light to the program, right? But I just wanted you to get an appreciation. And this was an incident, ladies and gentlemen. And the person who was doing the filming is within close proximity. And I'm certain if you listen carefully, you would have heard the gunshot ring off, right? And we can't continue, ladies and gentlemen, thinking that this incident is going to blow off. Bigger countries sees this as a pandemic. And I remember reading one of the things that said so sometime when I spoke about the gun incident and gun-related offenses back then. We need to pay particular attention to this, ladies and gentlemen. All right? So this is conversation number one. I don't know how many of you all maybe want to comment in the comment section, or you want to call in as we speak as it relates to that. All right, one person is saying, even when guns are discharged in the air, the falling bullets, all right, can also be deadly, if not fatal. So we understanding that. So we understand how serious this could be. And I cannot understand why it is, and that's my concern mainly. Why is it that the RGPF continues to make this seems as if this is not an issue? I mean, to me, in terms of offenses, and if we look at the ratio, because I believe one quarterly information or briefing we got from the RGPF last year, sometime around May or June last year, or close to May or June last year, there was a press conference or a press briefing from the RGPF that surrounded the rise in crime and whatever it is related. But however, I want to believe that gun-related crimes and offenses could be one of the most significant rise crime in Grenada. And it is rising most rapid. You're hearing conversations where people are saying to you, guns are coming in the island. You understand me? Even if it is allegation, but it is a call for concern. And you see, when those concerns come up, as I always say, it doesn't just affect the persons that are involved. You could be walking from a hard day's work. Your daughter or son could be coming from school. You could have just come from maybe walking an early morning walk, because some of the times when you come from, some persons, when they go on the early morning walk, some of these persons are just coming from a party. All right? So we need to be careful. We need to be careful. All right? Somebody saying, Prince, I am from that area and it never happened like that. Yes, we have the problems, but not like that. The government has a lot to do with it, because they need to see about our youth. Now, all these things, ladies and gentlemen, goes into those conversations. Because you're wondering why it is, what could cause an increase in gun violence. And if you study it, ladies and gentlemen, it is what gives you the conversation, Somebody saying, we have to be very, very careful when we're going out there, right? You need to ask yourself, why is it that there is a significant, and ladies and gentlemen, don't think to yourself that when offenses are becoming prevalent or when there is an increase in crime, there is nothing that goes with it. Eh? There are things that goes with crimes. Believe it or not. What would cause gun violence? What would cause a rise in gun violence? Somebody saying, when you have a police force that is demoralized by an individual who's Minister of National Security, what do you expect? So you understand how and you see, and I like when we get interactive, because I want persons to understand that at the end of the day, this conversation does not just surround the persons involved. Now, to the powers that be, they ought to come up with strategic ways and ask themselves the question, what is causing that? You understand me? First, talk about something else. All right, what could be causing that? Right? And when you're going to listen to me, when you're going to the bigger countries, there are persons responsible for analyzing this. And I like the point. When you have a force that is demoralized, you understand me? And not just demoralized, that is not equipped. Because this is not cutlass or stone or bottles. Because when you take it and you go into the bigger countries and you see police officers on the mere beat, you notice some of them with a bulletproof vest, or it might be below them or wherever. And I can tell you, there are officers for years, having been a part of the organization. For years, persons have asked for this bulletproof vest and the level of protections needed. I'm watching an incident today that might involve bus drivers or bus conductor. And you're seeing a warden walking up to the incident, strolling to the incident, all because one of the individuals had a cutlass. She's in a position she can. What is it? What's the most she can do? Maybe if it was a gun, she would have had to run. All right? Somebody said, not to stray from our issue here with the gun-related incident, but there was some gun violence in Trinidad and our neighbors in the south, and a lady was killed by a stray bullet when she peeped outside from her home window. This is more serious than the RGPF seems to me giving attention to. And you see, that is what I'm saying. Even if you're not in the position to say, well, okay, what you could do to help with the incident, you're not giving suggestions. You're not coming up with ways to say, well, persons, if you hear shots or how a gunshot should sound, and you know most of the times that is the issue. Many of times I remember even with home with my wife and I'm hearing shots and I'm saying to her, that's a gunshot. And say, no, a vehicle maybe backfire. Some persons, and you see, we have been so calm to such a situation. We have never had this level of situation. So when persons hear certain things, they might be like, as we does always say, a vehicle a backfire. So even that, the RGPF could assist persons in understanding what could be the difference, in understanding what might just be a casual something fall, maybe a vehicle backfire, as opposed to what a gunshot sounds like. And there is similarities. Somebody could be walking and casually they might hear this song and say, man, a vehicle a backfire, and then bam, a tribulity takes them. So you understand where we're going with this conversation? It is not just what we see, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody saying those police don't have time for that. They're too busy with those vendors. But again, it starts with the herd. It seems like the Prime Minister is more into independence celebration than anything else. Some people just say the hunter shooting Manikou. Exactly. So we understand how mediocrity we could be about that. Right? Somebody saying you have a government said that they're not concerned. So concern is all concern. It is so. If you cannot govern, why are you there? But you see, listen, the bigger world is saying to you that gun-related crime and gun-related offenses are a pandemic in their country because it affects all on sundry. It affects all on sundry, ladies and gentlemen. A gunshot would keep persons inside for months. How many times you see on the news where communities are under duress due to gun-related offenses? Somebody saying a toxic government, police force, people in general are feeding of something or someone. To eliminate the toxicity, you've got to switch off or get rid of the source that's toxic. Get registered. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, and if you, just to explain what the individual is saying, it's like everyone in the same boat. It's like everybody is feeling the same pinch. Right? And we have not heard of any person being arrested. But let's be honest. To the incidents that we have heard so far, and the allegations surrounding us, it is young people, especially young men, that are involved. It is young people that are involved, right? This is not the abuse or use of marijuana, you know. Right? This is not teenage pregnancy. This is a serious trend here in Grenada. It is a frightening trend. And not to instill fear in anybody, but I'm saying to you, I who have had used the firearm before, firearm don't have a GPS. A firearm doesn't have a GPS. From the time you release that wrong, you can't say to it, go and hit Jane or hit Joe. From the time it leaves the barrel, you have no control over it then and there. Bigger countries are even getting involved in persons. I think there was I watched one of the, I'm trying to remember the word that is being used. But normally when persons come and hand in the firearm themselves, you know, an amnesty. You do an amnesty drive where persons would come in and dropping the firearms, you know, and maybe not charge them or whatever is the circumstances. You know, so many things. Somebody saying he's the Minister of National Security and that is not his concern. Pure nonsense. Because it is the greatest concern. It is the greatest concern in Grenada. I don't think at this stage, ladies and gentlemen, there is another offense. And again, I said, I am subjected to corrections. I don't think there is another offense within the state of Grenada that is more concerning, more alarming as gun-related offenses. And it beats me because I have my kids, I have family members that I love dearly. I have my wife, I have my friends, And I don't want to be somewhere. Oh, well, he just come and buy chicken and chips and he gets shot. Somebody saying, I hope these guns are not the ghost 3D guns that cannot be picked up on scanners. And you see, that is a conversation. And I think I may have to, Peters, I don't have the knowledge, but I am even understanding that the manner in which some of these firearms are being made now, scanners are not picking them up. I've heard it mentioned, and I said it might be a theory, but I'm hearing somebody mentioning it again. So we understand the frightening concept of this. And Saturday night's allegation, we're talking no violence, no violent related. These guys were just joyous. These guys was just joyous. They were just there, and I understand they were just going off. They were just doing their thing and having their fun. And yes, somebody remind me, yes, Mr. Ferguson, I have my classmates, my students. Don't want to be that. Listen to me, this is serious, ladies and gentlemen. This is serious for the many of us who are here, who have used the firearm before and understand the use of firearm, understand how frightening it is to use a firearm. We would understand what we're talking about. We need to get to the bottom of this holistically. And people, let me say this openly. Then again, it is scary to even say that because persons and their level of confidentiality when it comes to policing. That is nothing wrong in speaking to a police officer in whom you trust. You know somebody has a firearm, tell the police. Inform the police. As I said, when you don't inform them, you don't know who's the next victim. It could be you. It could be me. It could be your mother. It could be your father. It could be your aunt, your uncle. Alright? I thought the Prime Minister is in charge of national security, but he never takes responsibility for anything that's going on in the country. That's so sad. And it is a holistic effort, ladies and gentlemen. A holistic effort. A holistic effort. Because you know how we hire securities in Grenada. You know how we hire securities in Grenada. You don't need no big set of trading in Grenada. And it is so knitted that your friend, sometimes you're a security and your friend, you know you have a gun and you're letting go inside a party with it, you know. If you think it is far-fetched, I've seen securities allowed persons to go inside dance with marijuana already. So don't think it can't happen. Somebody say living in the areas with your kids and cannot rest easy. I mean, think about the persons from the other night. How you sleep, sometimes maybe based on how your window is, based on where your room is located in your house. How you sleeping, hearing firearms going off, shots going off. This police and them only giving out information like it going out of style. It's hard to trust them to say anything. And I just mentioned confidentiality. You understand me? That's another thing. I hope you had a good day today, Natasha and Natasha. Right? The first time I used a firearm, a ball for my name and my country, the instructor thought I was going crazy. People, I am saying to you, we might take this very lightly. No. Until one day, God forbids, that a stray bullet takes one of our citizens' life. All right? There is a breakdown of law and order when there is no true leader in a place to take the bull by the horn. The so-called leader needs to go back to the school to learn and gain knowledge, wisdom, and understanding in leadership. People, I can't stress on the fact, and that's an important point. You as a leader, you need to take charge. You need to take charge. I can't tell the Prime Minister to go in there and get them. I can't say that. But you are hearing of those incidents in areas. You Quadna area. cordon an area. Get SSU, RU, cordon areas. I remember in the latter part when I got Brother James Clarkson as a commissioner of police. That is how he operates. We're going to deal with Montu. We lock down Montu. No entry sign from the top. We're going to lock down Woban. We lock down Woban for a little while. If you don't do those things, you have to make the perpetrators uncomfortable. I remember large operations that I was a part of while being in the RGPF. I am talking about operations where we say, listen to me, we're going to track down River Sally test today, and that is where we're locking down for the whole morning from 5 in the morning to 10. And that is all we're doing. You have to have the vigor. You have to put your foot on the ground. You have Commissioner of Police just looking nice. You have persons high echelon of the force that is doing absolutely nothing operationally. Only victimizing and trying to play politicians. Somebody saying use a firearm have two purposes. When it's in front of you, a firearm, you're dead. When it's behind you, the firearm, you kill. So that's the psychology of having a firearm. Right? You can't have persons within the RGPF moving so mediocritively with that. You ought to mount large operations and conduct this business. You look at the area in which it is alleged that the incident happened. The ghetto. Easy area to lock down. You cordon off the area, you stop vehicles from passing top HA Street that is over the station. They go on to the carnage. You lock down that area from on the other side and you carry out as such. I don't have to tell all of that. You have to be strategic. You have to have operational skills and plan, as somebody said in the comment section. You have to come up with strategic ways to make these persons uncomfortable. Somebody said you have to rebus interdiction and mandatory 50-year sentence for possession of illegal gun. You understand me? Somebody saying, thank God my mother is not alive. She would have gotten a heart attack. And again, going to that front, there are persons home taking care of elderlies. You all need to start reporting those things, people. We need to start reporting. This is important. This is important, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm happy of today's topic because it's very interactive. Very interactive, and it touches all and sundry involved. Persons need to pay attention to this. Persons are not reporting possession of illegal firearms because they fear their lives would be a target. So the police have to come up with strategic ways. You see, you can't sit back and just use the old mediocrity way that has been happening. You can't continue to use that aspect and think it's going to work out. You must come up with strategic ways, ladies and gentlemen, to deal with those incidents. Somebody saying, what the PM know about national security? It's traveling, lights, camera, and action. Yeah, but you see, at the end of the day, even if the PM doesn't know, the officers that are attached to the RGPF, at the helm of the RGPF, they have served the organization for years. And they know what to do operationally. I expect them to have an idea as to what to do operationally. You ought to be, and listen to me, let me tell you something. With all these allegations going wrong, you feel the police don't have an idea as to the people that are involved? You feel they don't know? And look at the Zealand point again, community policing, get your community involved, flood the area with police and engage. Let me tell you something, Joseph, community police is dead. I feel happy I might just be after. Community police has died. Remember being part of the police force where you had march and you had police officers in stations attached to specific schools and community areas and so on. When festive season coming around in certain areas, you could be able to pick up the regular offenders. Nowadays you don't have that community policing. You're mad. Somebody saying the community is hiding the culprit because you know why? The culprits are the ones that are assisting the community. For those of you who follow the story of Pablo Escobar, where you think Pablo Escobar was one of the persons within his community they wasn't wanting to give up? Because at the end of the day, when you bring a child to Pablo and you say you don't have school, you don't have money for school, you have to get it. They're getting it. They're getting it. Somebody saying great topic today, security of a nation, its citizens, and is paramount in the national development and attracting investors. Even, oh gosh, I tell you, I like when we get interactive, as some people don't want to call investors. Important point. What the outside world is seeing in here, what the outside world is seeing in here, plays another significant part in this issue. Because if I'm wanting to travel, and let me tell you something, people, for most of us who see people walk on our shows, you feel they just, oh, let me just go to Grenada. This is not we that just say, no, we want to go in America, we want to go in England, and we want to go and live in a specific area, and we don't go on the computer and find out what is the crime rate or what is the laws of those areas. When those persons are traveling into Caribbean islands, they're sitting behind their laptops, or their daughter or their son is finding out as it relates to what is the crime state, what is the prevalent crime in that country, what the traffic is like, their travels, the hospital, how is it medical, and we does not pay attention to this. Imagine a 9-year-old child telling classmates, my father have a gun, and my mother know because it's by her, he does hide it. Understand how it goes? You understand how it goes, ladies and gentlemen? If we're not seeing the importance of this now, it would continue brewing something else and something else and something else. Now take it to mean that is an incident. And let's play with references now. Because this child, knowing this, immediately that makes that child a bully. You don't believe that? That gives that child the power. Because why? I can become a bully. You can't do me nothing because I'm going to tell me father whenever anything comes up. That child is on the back of a bully. Believe that when I tell you. He or she believes they're in charge. Somebody said the country is free too much of democracy. You have to pick up guys and you have to pick up guys with gun violence, put them to work in working places like Hopeville kind of law to put things in place, put laws in place to do that. Right? Let me tell you something, people. We always look at things in Grenada, and I've always said this. In our national security aspect, we normally look at things very, very, very low-key. Happy advanced birthday to you, Mr. Charles. We normally, you see security in Grenada, we just play with that too much. And if we don't have the knowledge about it, we just play with things that we see and we believe, oh, that is why he or she gets it on. So when you see the tourists fall and they get a little bounce and he lie down on the ground there, he stay on the ground there, you feel they're doing that for money? No. It's important because you never know what that injury. We get a little knock on our shoulder and here's man, you tell the driver, go on, forget that. Just the mirror and knock me. And then 3 months down the road, you realize that you have inflammities in your arm. We need to pay attention. We are too mediocre when it comes to offenses and things in Grenada. Somebody saying, if gun violence continues, the U.S. State Department will put a travel advisory warning its citizens against traveling to Grenada. That advisory directly affects tourism. You understanding this? You understand that the little conversation that you feel we have in here and it don't go in no way. You understand the seriousness of this? The U.S. State Department will put a travel advisory warning to its citizen. So even from the time you type in travel to Grenada, you may see that pop up as it relates to gun-related offenses. And no man wants to leave his country knowing that there is an issue of that state in his country and going to somebody else's country to face the very same thing. I don't think anybody that is traveling would want to do that. It goes on to say, another commenter says, the police needs more time also to do more studies, gain more skills and experiences, know the laws of the country, and last but not least, proper body gears and latest surveillance surveillance system nationally. Brother, you speak a book. Because when this administration spoke transformation, I remember recently, this is one of the things I'm saying. Let me tell you what goes on in Grenada. And it is laughable between the years, and I've always said this, even while being in the police force. After 9/11, the world throughout ensured that the persons on the seaport and the airport are the most qualified persons. So when you see persons in immigration and all these places, they have regular trainings. In Grenada here, you know what happens? The RGPF sends persons in whom they deem delinquent on our port. So if you do something within a station or a department, your transfer would be on the port. So you are an officer who might have a fault or might have defaulted. And instead of the RGPF looking for qualified persons, skilled, properly trained persons to send on our port, they're sending persons in whom they believe are defaulters. Right? So no wonder you find many of the times all kind of memekwe does happen on the port. Somebody said, as of now, Trinidad Mother Toll stands 18. 14 are gun related in information via an Allen Crime Watch. Somebody saying the best set of policeman has already resigned, and those who are there seems like they don't care. All right, looking over to my YouTube page, right? Mr. James, the police is getting paid too. I know you know that too. The police are getting paid. The police are getting paid too, Mr. James. I know you know that. Of course, they will do that. Sorry, let me take that over. Of course, they will do that. Don't you know that they know all what is going on in Grenada? Somebody is saying that the police might be involved in corrupt practices based on the comment. The criminals got more latest and more weapons than the police officers in Grenada. And listen to me. Even when it comes to the aspect of marine, I have always said to myself, we have a fishing village in Grenada. And the most prevalent areas for fishing businesses lays mainly on the west coast. And I keep asking myself, why is it that the Coast Guard does not have a sub base in such an area? I've always asked myself that question, and years now, it has always baffled me. So we are unprepared in many ways for many things, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have competent officers with the necessary skill set to deal with the issues effectively? You see, again, ladies and gentlemen, you see, what stands first and foremost in this conversation is whether or not these officers are motivated. And somebody mentioned it earlier up in the comment section. Are they motivated enough? Are you giving them the zeal and vigor to want to do this? Because as I said to you, it is the most serious, life-threatening tool that is being used. This is not a cutlass, this is not a bottle. All right? Somebody saying, the cream of the crop gone from the RGPF. The remainder is marking time. Teacher, if the doctor was in power, we would have get a World Cup ticket game. Teachers, good evening. Somebody saying, when you remove all of the seasoned and experienced special branch officers and transfer them to regular duties just to please the ruling administration, what you think will happen? You will have a new set of men who knows little and nothing about intelligence gathering. So how will they be able to brief the hierarchy of the force? Another salient point. Now let me say to you, the special branch, the CID, most of those entities within the RGPF aids in the information gathering in terms of knowing who, drug squad, all those persons. And there have been significant transfers in those areas. Significant transfers. And let me say to you, SB persons who I know was in those areas for years. And when I speak years, I'm speaking some persons are there 15 years, 16 years. And then you just transfer them. And these persons have adapted to know all the little information. They know who to go to for whatever information. Right? And then you take them off. Let me read this comment here. It says the US commenting about gun violence, putting out warning, right, is a retro hypocrite. While for small states, gun violence is one of concern. Let's not equate things to the US. Why are we so concerned about the US thinks and will do and not what matters to our citizen? And we're not saying, we're just making basic reference as to what bigger countries see gun violence as. We're not making comparison as related to a small state to the US. All right. As an ex-officer, in my view, the RGPF needs to more regular training in terms of dealing with gun violence and have more persons doing groundwork. And that's an ex-officer. Range training. And as I say, protective gears. Somebody said upgraded surveillances. Another paramount importance. You can't have persons, you've seen persons on operation still with a jersey and a pants and them gunshot fine. What your jersey could do for you, what your pants could do for you. You understand me? So those things are important. Alright? Somebody says 6 weeks qualifies stop today in the police force. That point is relevant to posting to the port in factual, and that's a contributing factor. Yeah. Right? Again, you have persons training for 6 weeks. There is a known convict that, and before I start reading this, I should have said that earlier. I don't want persons, please don't include anybody's name in the comment. Realize that I'm just reading, right? And also don't be obscene and so on, all right? I should have said that since the start. It says, there is a known convict that commits gun violence every chance he gets. And I think he is out now. Both his parents held high ranks at the RGPF. But he seems to get a slap on the wrist when he commits those crimes. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we need to understand this. That the judicial system, the security, and the minister or the ministry responsible all need to get together in curbing such an issue. And as somebody mentioned, community policing. You, the citizens, play a significant part in such regard also. Tell the police. Let the police know. All right? Clearly, our police need further training. But where is the budget for all this? Get that there again. Get that piece there again. And you see, those training are important to people, of our importance. Because if you have a rising crime of that nature, to get the police to be intelligent and knowledgeable about the conversation is important. It is very important. To have the police up to speed, it is important. Somebody mentioned about the 3D ghost guns. This have been something that has been going around internationally. That scanners are not picking up some of the firearms. I don't know how it is being made or whatever, but you all can do in your own time, and something that I would try to do also. That the persons and the criminals, remember, this is their job. They don't want to be caught. They don't want to be caught. So they're coming up with ways to continue doing the crime and ways to protect what they have and their assets, right? They also need to upgrade the weapons with laser lights, all right, which helps a better aim. Most of them guns the RGPF have never fired yet. What if they're not even working? Again, I can watch me. Let me tell you something. I mean, not to wanting to go there again, Brother Prudhomme, but that's a fact. You sitting in stations, and believe it or not, those firearms are not going off, you know. The most the person do, they come and they clean it. And when you are the diarist, from 3-4 months, you just hand over all the firearms that are there, And that is it. Wrongs, firearm, and he go back in a chest. Believe it or not. No one time that they take persons from the department and you take that firearm and go and shoot it. Believe that statement that was just being made. Right? Exchanges with neighborhood states, more advances and equipped can help. Right? Again, we could incorporate. We're part of bodies. CARICOM and OECS. Right? Community policing cannot work. Them police talk too many. They're changing officers to regular. Again. So you see, salient points. Important points. You're saying, okay, yes, the work is transferable. But if an individual goes and he works at Grand Roy Police Station, right? And he adapts that trust in the area or in the community, and persons trust him enough to give the information, right? Then you transfer him. Then you bring somebody who somebody's timid to go and speak to. And by the time you check yourself, somebody did. Community policing is gone because when you call the station and give in report, make sure that I get that statement. Call the station and give a report, the police telling the person who call and report. It's been a growing issue for years. But where are the firearms coming from? Clearly there is some form of trafficking. Get that? So now we incorporate our seaport and you realize the conversation that we're having now and the manner in which we're having, you realize how many entities so far need to get involved. We're talking Port Authority, we're talking Airport Authority, we're talking Judicial System, we're talking community policing. So many entities need to get involved because of this conversation. So it is not just waking up and expecting it to change, but being able to come up with initiatives that would aid in curbing those issues. And a lot of entities need to be involved. Somebody saying this is a major problem in the entire region. Because I see how officers, somebody saying, because I see now a officer who is in Grand Roy Police Station for years, now I see him in RRU. It happened, the work is transferable. All right, somebody saying the reckless and indiscriminate transfers of the RGPF sends a bad signal and can give reasonable suspicion that those transfers look purposeful. There should be a unit where there is cameras all over the country, especially all ports of entry and export and the places where the potential hotspots. The bay, and creeks around the islands are used at port. Somebody saying the Minister of National Security should launch an inquiry into the tardy response by the RGPF in the latest shooting incidents. Take a look of the location in terms of CID relating to Central Police Station. Days gone and not even an operation done. See, when we have sometimes conversations in this scope and in this forum, we tend to want to just sometimes address the government or the administration. But I like the fact that we went not just politically today, but we went holistically. Not politically, but holistically. Looking at all and sundry. But it falls back, ladies and gentlemen, on the powers that be to create the atmosphere to help curb that issue. Persons need to put things in place. And if social issues, somebody said, and if social issues are not being addressed and no alternatives from many inactive, crime become attractive. So you see, we went in every aspect because we want to know what is causing it, the age range is being caused, why are they doing it, how is it happening, what is causing them to have it, how they're getting it, from what entry, from what area. So many issues, and I'm happy, ladies and gentlemen, that today that we address this issue. I really did have other little things to touch on, but I'm happy that we addressed that issue. And many persons actually sharing the sentiment that they're happy that the issue was dealt with, right? Understanding the seriousness of the persons who commented today, gave suggestions, come up with ways, training. We spoke training, right? We spoke community policing. We spoke initiatives. We spoke gears. We spoke upgrade of system. So many things that we spoke on. And we hope that the persons that are here, that, maybe was here just to think that we on the political aspect, bring it to your friends and family. Bring it to your friends and family and let them know. Your NDC friends and family I'm speaking of. Somebody saying, I'm hoping it's Prime Minister Dickon you're speaking about. So the person is saying Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, as head of Minister of National Security, needs to demit himself, I guess, from the office. That's what you're saying? His position. He needs to demit his position. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have had a wonderful, wonderful conversation today, and I don't want to leave anybody's comment. All right. Somebody said list of things that will make a great change: increase salaries. Increase salaries. Somebody said allow the persons that is trained to work in the relevant areas. No square peg in wrong hole. On a serious note, somebody saying on a serious note, I remember Tevin Andrews and his Carrico handlers were angry when they came to Grenada and had to be searched. They make the port authority stop searching vehicles, and all of a sudden we're hearing about gun incident. One thing down does have a rippling effect. Our port of entry, especially up north, is very precarious. All right, somebody saying further, the RGPF should consider the class in session today. A wealth of suggestions were given. Yeah, sometimes when we come here, and then what the class is about, it's all about learning, coming up with ways, and we look at state, we look at, developing states, and we make comparison. We would have to. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure having you here this afternoon. Just before you go, the persons that are paying the bill, let me just give a shout out to them. High Promotion and Graphics, along with 3A Promotion, or A3 Promotion, they present Rep Your Country Colors on February 7th. They will be having a day cruise, boarding time at 1, sailing time at 2, from 2 to 6. Early bird tickets, and you will have to get it now for only $70. Tickets went on sale from since the 7th. All right. The upcoming event of the Sunset City Spice Breadfruit Festival. This one would be held this year, and I want you to be a part of that. That would be up there in St. Mark's. More information will be coming in the upcoming days. All right. Brendan Trent Promotion presents Eyes Green and Gold 50th Independent Cruise. $70 gets you on the boat ride. All the way from Canada, we have Soul Vibes, DJ Smiley, Graphics, Blackstorm, Carl and Kyle would be the DJs on the boat. About the Embassy, boarding time 1 p.m. Tickets outlet, Brandon on the bus terminals, and Turkey's Bar. Also, you can go on Go To Fet. Sailors Promotion, they present to you Bingo and Dance. That would be on Saturday the 3rd of February, current Big Yard. Bingo tickets are only $20. The starting time of the event would be 3. Bingo time would be 6 p.m. I would be your host for the bingo, so don't forget to be there. You can dance after to the songs of Song Vibration. See you there, and we are going to have a time. All right, let me put it out there also, persons. You can now be using my platform for any form of advertisement that you would like to. We can always negotiate prices. But however, ladies and gentlemen, my forum can now be used for any form of advertisement, be it audio or as you just heard for yourself. I can just simply read out the information. Again, let me put it out there for the greenhouse of the Happy Hill Secondary School. They're asking past students to assist the house in terms of any form of financial donations, because they're trying to get some uniforms for the kids. All right. If you wish to sponsor some refreshment also, that is also welcoming. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again so very much. And just before you go, I just want you guys to remember that we're on again tomorrow. And when we started today, who remember the number? 868-1299. Don't forget that number, ladies and gentlemen, is my voters ID registration number. I am ready whenever the date is called. All right, I see many persons commenting still. However, we have reached the end of the interactive part of it. I want to say thank you so very much for everybody that played an integral part in coming out this evening to be a part of that conversation. And this year, I would be addressing a lot of social issues of that nature, because there are things that are happening, right? I don't know how many of you all are aware as it relates to the many violence among our young people, and more so our young ladies. And you're seeing social media threats and so many things going back and forth. And it is one, ladies and gentlemen, if we don't grab them thing by the horn now, it will leave us and go, and we'll be in a very, very bad state. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure being here with you. And as we get ready to say good evening to everybody, see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. God's blessings to each and every one of you. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. And I want to say God's blessings to your family. So from my family to yours, I want to say good afternoon. I want to say good afternoon to my wonderful wife also. And dear James, I hope everything is all right with you. And the kids, Layla, Javion, Akima, David, Didi. Good afternoon to my wonderful, wonderful kids. All right. God's blessings to each and every one of you. All right. Have a blessed evening.
Well, we've got the solution. Use Nut Magic Pain Reliever today and feel the pain fade away. Nut Magic Pain Reliever is produced right here in Grenada by Black Gold Enterprise and can be used for the relief of sore muscle, joint pain, cramps, backaches, arthritis, and other related symptoms. It's magic in a bottle. You can find Nut Magic Pain Reliever at major pharmacies and supermarkets on the island. Call or WhatsApp Black Gold Enterprise at 458-1330. Look for Nut Magic Pain Reliever on Facebook and on Instagram, or send us an email at bgegrenada@gmail.com. Get yours today and say goodbye to pain. It's magic in a bottle.
It's magic.
I'm proud, I'm strong. I am a Grenadian. Yes, man. Grenada, Grenada, the land where I was born. I know you were suffering. Men have raped you and abused you and left you there crying. I devote my heart, my body and my soul. I stretch forth my helping hand to help you out. I haven't got diamond, silver, or even gold, but blessings I give to its west, north and south. Oh, Grenada, Grenada, here I come, sweet, sweet Grenada. I will never, ever, ever let you down. Oh no, I'll always be your support, right here by your side, with my arms around you to wipe your weeping eyes. It's quite a long time now since you have fallen back to the last rung of the ladder, and the neighbors stand up there and uttering no talk, but to help they just don't bother. Some of your friends have turned their backs on you. They don't want to see your